Hello and welcome to Mortal Kombat Minute, the podcast where we analyze, criticize, and memorialize the 1995 film Mortal Kombat, one disreputable minute at a time. I'm Phil Casper from philcasper.net.
I'm Spanish from GameFixShow.com.
And we are on minute number 33. This minute starts with Kano bragging about being an underworld boss of his own and ends with Shang Tsung explaining he has plans for his beautiful Sonya Blade.
Oh, isn't she just beautiful?
Yes.
Obviously minute 32, you guys listened to the last episode. And if you didn't, why are you listening to this one? There is obviously that's when we first get our first look between Kano and Goro, the whole conversation, if you will. And yes, as you put it, it starts with Kano's line of, yeah. Oh wait, well first I want to say, in the last minute, Goro did talk about how he was the general of the armies of the outworld, prince of the subterranean realm of Shokan. I just love saying that. This is good. And then Kano then says subterranean. Says, what's that? Something like underground. And then, of course, Goro says, yes, something like that. So then that's where this minute starts. Kano then says, yeah, well, I'm kind of an underground boss myself. Well, back home. But I do want to preface that as he's reading this line, as he says this line, he's very nervous.
Yes.
You could see very kind of like because Goro is walking towards him and he is kind of a scary looking figure, right?
Yeah, he's trying like desperately, like kind of like to puff up his chest and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a manly man too, even though I only have 2 arms instead of 4."
Yeah. They're pretty much measuring at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, which I don't know if you want to measure with Goro.
No, not even a little bit. But
any bodily appendage at all. But I do want to note that that Kano still has a mouthful of food even while he's bragging. You can see some chunks still flying out. He's like, "Oh, I'm an underworld boss too."
He's got that turkey leg, man. You love that turkey leg.
Well, yes, that's a fantastic turkey leg. Unfortunately, he threw it away.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But but while he's delivering that, as you said, Goro starts. We have a quick shot of Goro like getting closer and closer to Kano, and then slowly Kano like just backs off like a cowardly dog. You're like, well,
because he is kind of coward. Yeah. Well, then Goro, when he actually says, after he says underground, he tells him he's an underground boss himself. Then Goro says, "How lucky for them!" And he spills that chalice of looks like wine. I mean, it's red, right? So yeah. I would imagine. And it says, "How lucky for them back home." I love it.
And it seems like it's a smaller chalice, but remember, like that's all. Like I think that has to be at least like a gallon of wine in this.
At least an entire bottle, if not more. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Right, and Goro gets all up in his face after spilling this wine all over Kano's lap, and I think it's probably fortunate that Kano had wine spilled in his lap, because I think he probably might have pissed himself out of fear of having Goro that close.
That isn't a confirmed thing, but I would say it's a possibility. It's a very, very good possibility. And now the next line, we actually hear Shang Tsung, and I'm going to let you read this because I have a feeling that this one will be fun for you.
So we have off screen, like Shang Tsung saying off screen, "It's true, Prince Goro. Why else would I have chosen such a disreputable looking cretin? Look at him. No dignity, no manners. Yet in the realm of Earth, men like him can amass great wealth and almost godlike power."
Now, I love this line. For those that have watched this movie, and well, the reason why you listen to our podcast here is to get those little tiny details that you might have missed. While he's delivering this line, after he says "no dignity," it has like a close up on Kano, and you actually see food drop out of his mouth. I love it. It's the perfect thing. And he's looking at Goro. He's breathing hard, and you could tell that he's nervous. He's still very nervous at that point.
He's under some sort of duress, it seems.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the shot that you're talking about, it looks like we're almost coming out from the perspective of Goro looking
Right.
down.
Oh yeah, he's looking down at him for sure.
And observing Kano. Yep. I do want to like mention real quick before we get too far away from like the spilling of the wine. If we could just backtrack just one second. Sure. At the very beginning of when Shang Tsung is delivering this line, we see a quick shot of Kano again. And you see in the lower left-hand corner that goblet sitting upright again. So there's a minor inconsistency there. I thought that was interesting because I didn't really notice that before. I'm like, oh,
good catch. Yeah, good catch.
Okay. But
you're right.
And as Shang Tsung is descending the stairs as he's delivering this line, if you look on the back wall of the cave, you see these shadows and these statues embedded in the wall.
They almost look like skeletons or
like some sort of mummified skeleton. They have like some sort of toga on or something, some sort of sash or whatever. It's the same. I think it's the same type of creature or whatever we saw back in minute 30 when Shang Tsung was walking through that latter part of the garden and Sonya Blade was going after him. So I'm wondering, could these be like just mummified like shadow priests or something? I know I'm like kind of stretching a little bit, but I'm wondering.
No, I mean, at the same time, we know what Shang Tsung can do. He steals your soul. He steals your soul. He doesn't steal your being, your body. So maybe those are just the soulless bodies displayed on display, right?
Yeah, probably. Maybe. And just to note, like also like the massive power that Shang Tsung yields, like as Shang Tsung is walking down the steps and delivering this line, we see a quick shot of Goro like realize, oh, that's Shang Tsung, and he starts stepping back, he starts retreating.
Yep. He is definitely his master, when it comes to Goro. Like Shang Tsung is Goro's master, and it really shows, especially with the body language of a puppet even.
Yep.
I say that with the uttermost enjoyment of the scene. Let me say that.
And one thing that I also wanted to note while Goro's looking down at Kano, while this chunk of turkey's falling out of his mouth, is that's a really big chair.
It's huge.
Did you notice the size of that chair?
Well, it's a Goro chair. That's what I'm thinking. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, this, okay, even though it doesn't have 4 armrests, it has, like, I guess you have just 2 armrests to rest 2 arms while your other 2 arms are just feeding your face.
Yep. I think you're right. I think you nailed it, actually. And I love, and obviously we get another angle of the food, which it doesn't really show much difference until we get to the next minute. So I don't want to do this.
Well, too much. Yep, you are right about that. But okay, so at the end of Shang Tsung's line though, then we have let's see, I'm missing my notes a little bit. Then we have Kano say, "Yeah, and I'd like to get back to my amassing as soon as possible, if you don't mind. Now, when do I get paid?" It's like just down to brass tacks real quick.
Yep. Like he's done. Well, I think at that point you could tell he's scared of Goro. You know what I mean? And he's a little intimidated by Shang Tsung as well. So I think at that point he's like, all right, let's stop. I'm done talking. I'm done trying to prove myself. When do I get paid? You know what I mean? I think that's kind of like what he's getting after.
Right. Which I think originally Shang Tsung only hired Kano to just to lure Sonya Blade to the island. Nothing else really.
I'm pretty much. But after he says the line, now when do I get paid? Then Shang Tsung actually and then he replies saying, after you fought the girl, but remember, she's not to be harmed, only humiliated. I have plans for my beautiful Sonya, in a creepy sort of way.
with that creepy smile that always seems to come when he's talking about Sonya, and it just makes me feel even more disgusted every single time I see it happen.
Yeah. Every single time. But right as he delivers that line, after this minute, we get a quick shot, and I'm talking like a second and a half maybe, of the 3 heroes kind of looking on to this whole conversation that's happening between these 3.
Yeah. And one thing that I want to add on is that in the book adaptation of the film, Kano makes like a crude joke at this point, saying like, because in the book he's not, he was only to bring Sonya to the island. He wasn't really supposed to do anything extra, so he was looking forward to this fight because this was the extra part, fighting Sonya Blade. And then he makes this crude joke saying, nothing I'd like more than to get right between her legs.
No.
And then
which is very funny because one of her special moves is the bicycle throw, so that's why like
right. And then Shang Tsung replies, well, I've seen your future and you shall get what you wish for. And I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of foreshadowing there.
A little foreshadowing there. I do want to point out real quick, when Shang Tsung actually comes around the corner and is looking at Kano, we see the guard in the background holding that spear axe-ish thing. Yeah. I don't even know what you would call that thing. And then when it's the shot of Kano and Shang Tsung, you see that guy in the background. But then when it's just the shot from behind Kano and showing Shang Tsung, you see another guard in the back holding the same spear, whatever that is, in his left hand instead of the right hand. At first, I thought maybe it was some kind of discrepancy between, like just holding it with the wrong hand. But when I look at it, the more I see it, there's definitely two guards in that scene.
Yeah, and those are, and I think even more so, those are two separate entrances rather, which is why there are two separate guards there. So,
yep. Yeah, I think you're right.
And I need to figure out what the name of those weapons are. I can't.
Yeah,
remember
I'm not,
because I think we'll see them again in a few minutes.
I think we will.
Not to give too many spoilers away, but I'll know the name of the weapon by that time.
That's fair. Well, that's all I have for this minute.
That is all I have as well. And well, that concludes yet another minute. Thanks so much for being with us. Once again, I'm Phil.
I'm Spanish.
And we'll see you next time on the Mortal Kombat Minute.